Hello everybody, and welcome to another Vintage Cube Draft, where we have quite a good pack to start. I think we're going to be taking Minsc and Boo. Probably the best Planeswalker ever printed. The Timeless Heroes just close out the game so quickly, draws cards, demands an immediate answer. It is weak to specifically Lightning Bolt, but against almost anything else, this card is just phenomenal. There's a lot of other good stuff in the pack. I'm looking at Echo of Eons and Force of Will in particular. I really like the Draw 7 deck. There's a lot of things to pair with this to make it really busted. And then 0 mana interaction is just great in general. There's also Daze, more 0 mana interaction. Other good cards include the Wandering Emperor, Chain Lightning. Nothing too exciting. Notably, we're not passing much good green stuff. We are passing some good red, so this maybe pushes us slightly towards a base red build of Minsc and Boo. But either way, I mean, I'm just going to take this and see what's open and be very happy to have a busted first pick. Not a very good pack to follow it up. Just the power level overall is pretty bad, and then in our colors as well. We could take Sakura Tri-Builder. It's not a card that I love to take this early in general, but it is nice to just power out Minsc and Boo a turn early. There's a bunch of lands we could take, either Blood Crypt or Xander's Lounge. I do think black splashes work pretty well with Minsc and Boo because black removal can protect your Planeswalker, and discard spells can let you clear the path and, you know, make sure they don't have a counter magic or whatever. I don't think I want to take a Detective's Phoenix here. I do think this card is pretty solid. It's also really good with Minsc and Boo. I mean, just any card with haste is going to become better. Like, letting this immediately become a 5/5 is strong. That's actually kind of interesting. I'm not going to take Oath. I think Blood Crypt and Xander's Lounge are both kind of interesting if we end up wanting to do some other colors, but I think I'm leaning towards just taking the Sakura Tri-Builder here. Yeah, let's take this. It just lets us play Minsc and Boo early, and I think that's a really big deal. Okay, now I'm going to take Noble Hierarch. Continue setting up to play Minsc and Boo as early as possible. There's Teferi if we end up in some sort of 4-color deck. Like Polluted Delta would be good in that build as well. I don't think I want to take Courser or Oliphant. Yeah, I'll just take the Hierarch. Okay, I think it's a pretty easy Chandra now. It's another really powerful thing to ramp into. Elvish Reclaimer could become good. I mean, we could take, like, Reclaimer and try to wheel Thespian Stage or something, but that's not that powerful of a direction. I think I'd rather just have redundancy for, like, the best builds of red-green ramp have a lot of really replaceable parts. Minsc and Boo will always be your best 4-drop, but if you have, you know, 6 or 7 1 or 2 mana ramp spells, and then 3 or 4 4-mana payoffs, that's a really good way to consistently resolve a major threat early. And Chandra, well, worse than Minsc and Boo, does sort of do a similar thing of being a 4-mana Planeswalker that's very tough to interact with favorably and closes out the game really quickly. This is a spot where we're seeing lots of lands for potential splashes, and we might end up wanting to splash, but I'd rather just take the really good card in my colors, and then we'll see what lands are coming around when we decide what other stuff we want to take. Okay. I don't think Reckless Pyrosurfer is really where I want to be. There is Thundering Falls. There's also Hwaddle, which I might actually just take here. It's not a card that I typically take very highly, but it is, we're kind of in the colors for it. It's not a bad card. I mean, 3 mana, 2/3 that immediately draws a card, and then it can scale up in the late game. There's also Toxic Deluge, which is really good if we end up being Jund, but I think I'm just going to take the card in my colors. Yeah, I'll take this. Now we see a Titania, also Flage. Flage is pretty strong, but I think I'm going to take Titania. Green looks to be our most open color. It's a really powerful card in the right deck. We do need some fetch lands to make it work, but it's early enough that I think we can get there. Interesting. Okay, so there's Omnath. That's a little tough on the mana. We could take Inspiring Vantage, but we're then passing the Omnath. There's Mishra's Research Desk for just card draw, or Scapeshift if we want to try to go deep. Scapeshift is good with Titania. We just saw Field of the Dead. We could try to wheel it, but we don't have any fancy lands yet. I think Mishra's Research Desk is just going to be a little bit better for us here. Yeah, good card advantage and card selection. We do see Prismatic Omen now, so we could try to go in that direction and, like, get the Valakut, but that's just not that powerful. I think I'd rather just take Faithless Looting, or even Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal does let us accelerate into these cards, which is pretty interesting. It's like, do we want explosive speed versus consistency? Hard to say, but we are in green already, which gives us some of the speed, and red-green is a color combination that kind of struggles with the consistency, so I think looting is slightly better here, although it's very close. Wow, okay. Good to see all this stuff coming around. Chain Lightning versus Prismatic Ending. Prismatic Vista is tough. I think I'm going to take the Vista, though. As good as Chain Lightning is, if we have Titania, we really want some fixing. This is also nice for just being a turn 1 source of any of our colors. I do really want to get some red removal, though. All right, I'll take a Blood Crypt. Interesting to see that going so late. So that pushes us towards Jund. And Jund is still looking fairly open. Do we want to take White or Shieldred Edict or just stick with a Courser? White of the Reliquary is just not that good of a card, unfortunately. Shieldred Edict is good if we're playing black, and maybe we do want to play black, but I think Courser is still the right pick. You know what? No, I will take the Edict. Very, very powerful removal spell. I think black is a good direction to go. If like we see a super late Blood Crypt, we get rewarded by seeing a late cut down. Let's take that and pivot towards Jund. I don't think we're a Figure of Destiny deck. Probably not a Pyro Surfer deck either, but we could get there. Okay, so we don't have a ton of fixing for Jund, but we have some really good spells. I think this is a good direction to be going in. Now we see Channel Emrakul in the same pack. That's pretty funny. There's 6, which would be a really good card here, but I think we got to take the Bloodstained Mire. And then maybe we can wheel 6. Could also wheel Trumpet and Carnosaur. But yeah, Bloodstained Mire is just perfect. It already gets Blood Crypt. I guess it doesn't get untapped green yet, but we have plenty of time to make it get there. Loving the start. I'm such a sucker for Jund. Ooh, tough pick here. There's Dragon's Rage Channeler, which would be a pretty good threat, especially if we end up being heavy on non-creatures. There's also 3 lands that I would like a lot. Shifting Woodland does not work well with our Planeswalkers, but it is just a good card. I think if we pass Overgrown Tomb and Zaitor's Proving Ground, we should be able to wheel one of them. Which makes me kind of want to take the Shifting Woodland. I guess this doesn't do that much with our current setup, though. I mean, it's okay with Titania. I'm actually going to take the Zaitor's Proving Ground. It's kind of a soft pick, but it does really help the mana base. It adds a lot of consistency, which is something I value very highly. Which you know if you watch this channel for any duration of time. There we see the Narset that we can pair with the Echo of Eons. There's also Tinker, a lot of good blue stuff. We have Doomsday, but I'm not going to backdoor into that. There's Underground Mortuary, but we just took Zaitor's Proving Ground, which makes it less necessary. I think we're going to try to wheel Escape to the Wilds and just take a Flame Slash. Although we do have solid removal now. I still think Flame Slash is the right pick, though. There's Fast Bond, but we didn't take the Crucible of Worlds. Or we didn't take the Courser. We could take Ramanap and try to wheel Fast Bond. There's also Pillage the Bog, which is just a solid card selection card. We only have 2 fetches at the moment. Do we think there's any chance Fast Bond comes around? Probably not. There is a good chance Pillage the Bog comes around, though. But also, if we take Pillage the Bog, we can almost definitely wheel one of the 2 green cards. And honestly, like, I don't think that's really the direction we're going. We're not really trying to be a Fast Bond deck. I think Pillage the Bog might just be better here for us, if we're more of just a Jund mid-range deck. And there's not much good black stuff. Yeah, I'm going to take the Pillage and just not go in on the, like, hardcore land stuff. Like, we pass Scape Shift, we pass a lot of stuff in that vein, so that's just not the direction we're really going. Now we take Dismember, great pickup. Endurance is a good sideboard card. Honestly, main deckable too, it's not bad. And this is a kind of good build for it too, where you're semi-aggressive with a lot of removal, so the 3/4 body is really good, but still definitely taking Dismember. That's just a really, really good pickup. Okay, I think I'll take Ulvenwald Oddity here. Talisman of Indulgence is interesting. Actually, maybe we're even supposed to take that. Talisman would give us redundancy for ramping into these cards. Hard to say. I don't think we're likely to wheel either one. How good is Ulvenwald Oddity? I would take a Questing Beast here. I don't think Oddity is as good, though. I think I am going to take the Talisman. It's close, but Talisman's really good. It's fixing. It accelerates us. Alright, so I was going to say this is like good if we get other good payoffs to ramp into, and then we immediately get rewarded with Nissa, which is got to be one of the better things we could get here. Gruul Turf, I mean, honestly, great pack. A lot of stuff I would play here, but definitely taking the Nissa. That's a phenomenal pickup. Now we see Kroxa. I don't think I'm too interested in any of these lands. This is a red-green land, but I'm not that likely to splash blue at this point. Croxa seems pretty solid. We have Faithless Looting. We don't have any other ways to use our graveyard yet. Yeah, I'll take a Croxa. Channel and Emrakul both wheel. That's hilarious. I don't think we really want Talisman or Tundra. Fallen Shinobi is kind of interesting, but honestly, let's just take a Golos. I'm not going to play it in the main deck right now, but it could get there if we get the lands for it. We wheel Overgrown Tomb. That's a really nice late pickup. Carry Out is okay too, but I do think Tomb is the right one. Yeah, don't think any... Well, I'll bring Golos out in case we get the fixing for it. We wheel Underground Mortuary, but there's also Escape to the Wilds. Close pick. I think I'm actually going to take the Escape to the Wilds here. I love Mortuary, but Escape to the Wilds is really, really powerful, especially in a deck with some ramp to power it out. So we'll see on the Golos. Probably unlikely. I would need to get like blue and white lands that I would want to play naturally. Okay, a lot of interesting cards here. We're not in on the Fast Bond, Past Courser, and Ramanap. We don't really have outs for this. It's good with like specifically Faithless Looting, but that's it. I'm not going to play Colonnade, so I'll take Relic, which is a really good sideboard card. Endurance is probably a good main deck card. We do wheel the Oddity. That's pretty sweet. All right, this deck is looking amazing. And we even wheel a Gruul Turf, which I will play. Pretty sweet. This is, it's at its best with something like Fast Bond, which we didn't take. But it's not bad on its own. It is just card advantage at the cost of being a little awkward sometimes, but still powerful card. Now we see a good pack, a lot of possibilities. Windswept Heath is the most obvious one. It can get Overgrown Tomb and Zaitor's Proving Ground. There's a lot of good green stuff. I would play Bloodbraid Challenger in this deck, and I think it would be pretty sweet. Might not want to play that and Croxa, but might be better than Croxa. There's also Delighted Halfling and Once Upon a Time. Even Delayed Blast Fireball and Caustic Bronco look good, but I think just the fetch land has got to be the right pick here. And then wheel one of the green cards. Yeah, I'll take the fetch. You can never be sad to get a fetch land in a deck like this. And in that vein, I think I'm taking the Marsh Flats. There is Zurin Orb, which goes off with Titania specifically, but we didn't end up with like going deep on the lands plan. Marsh Flats can get Blood Crypt, Overgrown Tomb, or Zaitor's Proving Ground, and it's another fetch land to pair with our Titania. We can maybe try to wheel Bayou. Mind Twist is interesting as well. It's better in a deck that has some acceleration. Not a ton, but we have a few accelerants, but I still think Marsh Flats is the right pick here. And we're well set up to play Wrenn and 6 if we find that. Ooh. Interesting. Okay, I think I'm going to take the Saga here. Kolaghan's Command is great, but Urza Saga is really nice with the research desk and just a powerful card in general. Even if you're not fully built around it, it's very strong. Does make me kind of wish I had taken the Ramanap Excavator. But yeah, let's take the Urza Saga, and this makes Wrenn and 6 even better. There's also Orcish Lumberjack, which I'm really hoping to wheel. That would be, actually, there's an argument we're supposed to take it. Very good with like all of these 5s, but I think it's still correct to take the Saga. And then hopefully we get one more good equipment to pair with it. Okay, solid pack here. I don't think we really need Blooming Marsh. Our fixing is looking pretty good at this point. A lot of good green stuff, but I think we can try to wheel some of that, so I'm just going to take Bone Crusher Giant and then try to wheel a green card. Okay, Bauble would be kind of nice for the Urza Saga. We could also take one of the red cards, but with 4 red cards, we're almost guaranteed to wheel one of them. So I think we just want to take the Bauble here. Also nice as just an extra free card for Croxa and some card selection with all these fetch lands. This deck is looking sweet. Few possibilities here. I don't think we really need Yavimaya. Arena of Glory also doesn't seem that good because a lot of our big creatures... Well, actually, I was going to say our big creatures already have haste, but they don't really. Just all the old Oddity does. Obsidian Charmoth seems okay, but not that amazing. Virtue of Persistence could be good. How much removal did we have right now? Not a ton. There's Charmoth, there's Carnage Interpreter. I don't think we need Interpreter, though. We have a lot of expensive stuff already. Which also maybe means we don't need, like, Obsidian Charmoth. I think Arena of Glory is actually the pick here. Yeah, I'll take this card. Whoa, okay. Late Fiery Confluence. Definitely not taking Hogak in our Croxa deck. Yeah, I'll take the Fiery Confluence, though. Just powerful card. Not particularly synergistic with our deck, but just good. Valakut, not really what we need. Some Growth Chamber, also not. Manamorphose, I don't think our fixing is too bad, but it's kind of nice just for Croxa. But I think I would rather just take Outland Liberator. We don't have other ways to kill artifacts and enchantments yet. Interesting. So we do wield the Bloodbraid Challenger, but I think I would rather just take a Delighted Halfling here. There's also this, which is not bad, but like Halfling just looks pretty good on the curve with a decent number of legends. Yeah, I'll take this. I do really want to play Bloodbraid Challenger in some deck, and if I didn't have the Croxa, I would take it, but with Croxa, I think this is the right pick. All right, Zurin Orb. We have Saga. I know people are going to want me to take that with Titania. I just don't think that's that good, though. I think Bayou helps us more. Like, the fixing is so important. This is only good with Titania, nothing else in our deck. And we don't have any ways to tutor up Titania. If we had Demonic Tutor, maybe I would be more into this. And I would take this over, like, just a bad card. But Bayou helps a lot. Like, I'm sorry to all the lovers of that combo out there. I just think that's not the right pick, though. I will take Orcish Lumberjack, another card that's solid with Titania and just good. Night's Whisperer is okay, but I think the explosive potential of this is good enough to take. Now I'll take Reclamation Sage, nice pickup. I don't think I'm playing Souls of the Lost. This could get there if we just need another removal spell. Okay, we need to make some cuts already. Tough cuts, honestly. I really don't know what I want to get rid of. Maybe I'll cut the Relic, which is awkward with our Croxa, and we can just bring it in. Like, we already have Endurance. Ooh, I think this is a sideboard card. Not a bad card to play, but I think I'll sideboard that. Maybe we also just don't have any graveyard hate in the main deck, actually, and cut the Endurance. It's not bad, but it's just a little bit less essential than some of the other cards. And then we got to make at least one more cut for sure. Do we want to cut any of these removal spells? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cheap spell removal spells. I think that's good. I don't think I want to cut any of those. I think I do want the Talisman. Could maybe cut Rexage or Outland Liberator. They're both pretty good, though, and they look nice on the curve. I don't think I want to cut the Oddity. This card is pretty strong. Could move Escape to the Wild to the board to just for the grindy matchups, but I don't think we need to do that. Could cut Faithless Looting. Maybe we cut Looting. It's only good with Croxa. We don't have a ton of other card selection, but we do have Pillage the Bog and Mishra's Research Desk. Yeah, I think that seems okay. Alright, so heaviest green. Black has a pretty small splash. So if we did this, that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 green. Kind of want one more. I definitely don't want to go lower. For red, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Seems okay. Could maybe cut one. And then for black, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's kind of more than we need, but if we cut the swamp, we lose 2 black sources because we also lose Prismatic Vista as a black source. That might be okay, though. Although I don't love cutting this for Forest in my Croxa deck. Okay, yeah, I'll try it back like this. So we're playing Jund mid-range. Kind of love it. We have some powerful Planeswalkers for taking over the game, a lot of good accelerants to do it quickly, a little Urza Saga package, Croxa to take over, a bunch of removal. We don't have any discard spells, so we could be tough against combo decks in Game 1, but then in Game 2 when we bring in Relic and our Endurance and even Looting, that's good against a lot of combo decks. Obsidian Charm will also help in certain matchups. Seems pretty sweet, and I will see you in round 1. Alright, we are on the play for round 1. Okay, good hand. I'm definitely going to keep... We could actually go Urza... We could bounce the Urza Saga with Gruul Turf to make extra dudes in the long game. That's kind of an interesting line. This turn, I'm definitely just going to play this. Then I think we go next turn Sakura Tribe Elder. Ooh. Okay, that sort of changes things because I don't want to use the Saga next turn. So I think what I'm going to do is just crack this for a mountain and play Sakura Tribe Elder. This is better against like artifact destruction. It's harder for them to deal with than the talisman. Also, talisman we can use the turn we play it in certain matchups or in certain situations. Reanimate a troll. Interesting. Well, that makes playing Chandra next turn worse. I guess we still sack this though because we can't jump block. We can just try to go over the top. Oh, that's a really good draw. Okay, so let's go just Talisman into Sheoldred's Edict. And then play Gruul Turf. Hopefully they don't have a Spell Pierce here. It's not the end of the world if they do. Okay, that works. Gruul Turf, pick up a mountain. Get a nice little card advantage, and then pass turn. And next turn we can either play Titania or Chandra. Urza Saga plus Titania is kind of interesting, both because when the sacrifices, it makes a dude for Titania, or if we just do the Saga first, we can recur the Saga. Given that they played a pretty relevant creature, I might go for Chandra first. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. So we could plus Chandra into Waddle, but we can't play them both naturally. I think just killing the Jace is pretty relevant, though. They might have like a Grizzlebrand in their hand. I think I will play the Saga here. We can plus the Chandra for mana next turn, potentially, to just do everything. It's a good spot. That's the first 2-for-1. Before that was just a bunch of 1-for-1 exchanges, but it's ones that like put us ahead in a pretty real way, especially with us having a good hand. I guess if they go like Land Mind Twist, it's pretty bad. Okay, Baleful Strix is good. That will, like, that holds back our Titania dudes pretty well. If they have Time Walk here, that'd be annoying because then they could kill our Chandra. Oh, okay, that's fine. I'll take the 2-for-1 there. Okay, so how much mana do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if we play Titania, bring back Prismatic Vista, we can then still have enough mana to make a Saga token. That seems great. Alright, I'll just get a forest here, I guess. We don't really ever need tons of black mana, and we could need like multiple green. We have a few double green cards. So we'll pass, planning on making a Saga token. And then Saga can get Mishra's Research Desk, which is a pretty nice card in this spot. Okay, that is minorly annoying. I mean, we're still in a good position. But they might actually be able to hardcast that in the long game, which could become a problem. And a Snapcaster Reanimate, bringing back Troll again, or Titania. Titania doesn't do that much because they don't have a land in the yard, so they might just bring back the Troll because it's bigger. That puts them down to 10. How do they gain that life? Oh, this gained life, right? Alright, so let's make a Saga. Untap, make another Saga token. Grab the Research Desk. Play Waddle. I don't think we're going to do any attacking here. Do we just want to play out our entire team? Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's not that relevant. I guess it's maybe bad if they have a sweeper, but these things aren't letting us rebuild that quickly anyways. And there definitely is a world where we just want to attack with a bunch of stuff next turn. Huge board state for both players. If we crack the Research Desk, we will lose some power on our constructs. I think that's okay, though. We can flip Waddle and make 2 3/3s. It won't do much after that. I don't think we have any dinosaurs. There are some playable dinosaurs in the format, but not in this deck. Unfortunately, this elemental token is not a dinosaur either. Weird spot, because it feels, I mean, we're ahead on board, clearly. We have way more permanents than them, but we don't have great attacks, and we don't have a hand. I think we're still ahead, but if they just, like, have a counter spell and a kill spell, they could certainly get back into this. They do attack for 6. Interesting. Do we want to go for some sort of big block? I'll just take the 6. If they have Fallen Shinobi, it's not the end of the world. They get 1 hit, but then we can block it forever. This sort of forces them to have a sweeper. They don't go for a sweeper. Okay, so let's crack this. It does shrink these things, but I think it's worth it. Pillage the Bog is a good pickup. It's basically Demonic Tutor. I'm going to play this. Play this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we could look at the top 14 cards. They probably should have just cycled that. Okay, so Minsk and Boo, Escape to the Wilds. I think it's primarily between those two. Probably best to just get Minsk and Boo and just go aggro, though. Or even take Fiery Confluence. Yeah, actually, Fiery Confluence looks pretty good here. Although, I guess Minsk and Boo is uncounterable, but I think Fiery Confluence is still the right pick. Yeah, let's take this. So we cast this to deal 1 damage to each creature and 4 damage to each opponent. If this resolves, it's just game. We can also pay 4 mana, so we can pay for Mana Leak. And they're super dead if this resolves. And it does. Okay, so playing against blue-black control up a game. Could be a tough matchup, especially if they have board sweepers. I think I will bring in my graveyard hate stuff. I mean, actually, definitely. We've seen multiple reanimation-y, graveyard-y things. Do we want to cut Kroxa if we're bringing in Relic? I don't think so. I don't think I want these spot removal spells either. I mean, they have creatures, but not creatures that are, like, that good to kill. Ones that can hit their 6/5 are better, of course. But these both, I think, are pretty safe to cut. Fiery Confluence, not at its best here, but I think it is worth playing. Sneakily, I might actually cut Orcish Lumberjack. It's pretty weak to counter magic. Like, if you sack your land and then they miscalc your Chandra, it's really bad. Also, of course, a bad top deck if the game goes long, which it's likely to do. I don't think we need the Charma. I don't really get why this is in the format, frankly. Like, most decks, I mean, maybe it's just, like, good if it costs 4 and it's a 4. I mean, I guess it's not terrible even just for 5 mana, but it doesn't seem that good. I guess they replaced Avalanche Riders, and it is better than Avalanche Riders. Reckless Pyrosurfer is okay, just if we want to be somewhat aggressive. Pretty weak to Baleful Strix, though. I think I'm just going to run it like this. Do we want to play Golos to find Urza Saga? Find Saga, Arena of Glory, and Gruul Turf sometimes. Maybe that's good, but I think everything else might just be better. Or maybe we don't play the looting, actually. Yeah, I'll do this. It does make the curve look a little awkward. Our curve is definitely higher, but I think in this matchup, at least on the draw, we're not trying to be an aggro deck. We're trying to, like, have ramp into cards that take over the game and have just, like, high card quality, good top decks. So I think that seems good. This hand is exactly what you want in the opener. We don't have any top end, but we have, like, all our dorks early, which means we'll draw all our big stuff late, hopefully. I think I'm going to lead on Halfling because it hits the hardest. So we can swing for extra on turn 2. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'll take the possibility of a uncounterable turn 3 Minsk and Boo. Okay, that is, I guess, worst case scenario. Because now if they pass the mana up, we can't really slam Minsk and Boo into their open mana. Bummer. Yeah, I think we just need to pass here, as awkward as it is. Also, drawing basic land was, that was horrendous. We only have one basic left in the deck, so obviously going to crack this for a mountain here. And then if we find Waddle, we'll get the last basic out of our deck. Okay, I'm going to let them hit me for 3 and then just cast the Shield Edict end of turn. I'm going to save it in case they play something scarier. Actually, I'll cast this now. Well, no, I don't care about 3 damage. I'm fine with this. I was hoping they would fall in Shinobi. Okay, they're still passing with mana up, so I don't love the idea of just jamming Minskin Boo. I guess we also should have not played the land first, but let's just crack this now, see what we hit. We can play until the end of our next turn. Outland Liberator, sure. Cast it. I'm going to cast a pre-combat in case they have Daze. I don't think they have Subtlety. They would have done that on the Outland Liberator. Okay, I'm pretty fine sacking the Hierarch. Pass turn. Still want to hold the Minskin Boo as long as they're passing with mana up. That kind of changes things. Start by swinging for 3. I think I'm honestly still going to play it slow. Reclamation Sage really doesn't seem that good. I think I'd honestly rather just take Arena of Glory. Pass turn. Weird game. We can play around Miscalc now. They just cast a Troll. Okay, so that's interesting. I mean, the thing is they can... Yeah, it's a little scary still. Interesting draw. So... Our hand is hilarious. Let's attack for 3. If they block, we can Chandra minus. And now they have to deal with the Chandra, and we still have a stacked hand. Seems like a good spot. They just cast the Virtue of Persistence. I think we can overpower that pretty easily. Titania, wow, good draw. So let's plus for mana. Cast Nissa. Plus on a forest. Play forest. Exert that to play Titania. We're going to be 1 mana short of also playing... Unfortunately, if we had a Taiga, we would be able to also do Minskin Boo, but we can't. I think this is okay, though. Let's hit for 8. And then pass. They get to return their Troll, but that really doesn't do much here. We're going to be able to attack really hard next turn. Oh, they do take out our Minskin Boo. That's annoying. They need Cryptic Command here, I think. We'll grab our last basic. So we can untap our Arena of Glory. That's kind of funny. Let's start by plussing. See what we hit. Croxa. Yeah, I'll cast that. We can actually cast that with haste this turn. That's sweet. Wow, that's actually just... Yeah, that, we can exile all of our graveyard to mess up this. Make them discard their last 2 cards, hit them with Croxa, untap this. We get, untapping this, giving it, hey, oh man, just awesome game, honestly. We just demolished blue-black control, which again, in theory, would maybe be a kind of tough matchup, but I guess this is just highlighting why control is underpowered now. The threats are just so good. Like, we have all these threats that they have to deal with, and if we run them out of answers, each one closes out the game really quickly. It's also hard for them to even deal with it efficiently. Like, they shield your edict after you already get your 2-for-1. Like, maybe they can miscalculation something, but that's still just a 1-for-1. So, yeah, that was a good illustration of why proactive decks are broken, and hopefully we get to continue doing that. See you in round 2. All right, round 2, playing against a fan. That's always fun. Alright, this hand is not the best, but it is a keep for sure. We only have one more Saga target in the deck, so hopefully we don't draw it, although that wouldn't be the end of the world. I'll show the Fallen. That's scary, but not as scary as Ragavan. I think I am just going to crack the bauble here for the Scry. Looking for an accelerant. Yeah, I'll keep that. Okay, just going to play Forest and pass. I think drawing a basic land here would not be too bad, so I'm fine with not cracking this. And then maybe we end up in a situation where we can save it for Titania being in play. Opponent could have a aggressive deck. I think we are probably pretty well suited against aggressive decks, but I mean, they're on the play. They have a 1-drop on turn 1. Could be scary. This is generally a sign. I mean, they wouldn't play this if they had another untapped white source, so okay, yeah, I guess they just have mountains. If they had a 1-lander, we'd be in great shape, of course. They don't make a play. Alright, I mean, I'm just going to play this, of course. If they kill it, they kill it. I hope they don't have Stomp. If they, like, best case scenario, well, I guess best case scenario is they do nothing and we get to untap with this. Meal case scenario, they bolt it, and that's just, like, a fine exchange. Worst case scenario is they have Stomp, which means they can kill it end of turn, untap, have all their mana still available, and get card advantage. But it looks like they... Oh, no, they can kill it end of turn. Alright, that's not the best, but it is what it is. Next turn, I guess we're just going to be plotting Pillage the Bog. Hopefully not Adeline. Actually, there's a lot of stuff that's bad here. Death Greeter's Champion. It's not great. We're definitely under some pressure. We take 6, go to 12, crack this down to 11. They have a pretty solid board, and right now we're not able to interact with it. So I really hope we draw something that interacts with the board here. Rexage is not really what I was hoping for. I think I'm just going to plot Pillage the Bog. I mean, we're taking what? We're taking 7 damage, so we might just be dead. But plotting Pillage the Bog gives us the chance to find Fiery Confluence. But, I mean, yeah, we're in bad shape. This is a game where being on the play versus draw is a huge difference. Wasteland, Desire Towards Proven Ground, and hit me. We're almost just dead on board. We go to 3. We can no longer play Fiery Confluence, so I don't think we have any outs. I mean, I'll play this in desperation. We could go Flame Slash one of their things and concede. Alright. Pretty strong draw from the opponent. Wasteland is pretty good against our deck. I don't think I'm going to bring in an extra land on the play. Alright, what changes do we want to make here? Endurance seems pretty good just as a 3-4. On the draw, I'll bring in Grazer, but I don't think we need that on the play. We don't have anything that's like... I guess Croxa's probably not that good against them. It's just very slow. If we can escape it, it's good in the late game, but that's not that relevant. I think I'm also going to cut Escape the Wilds. I don't really want to spend 5 mana to not impact the board. And then do we just play 17th Land against the Wasteland deck? Do we play Relic? Because now we don't have Croxa. I mean, I don't think Relic's that good against them, though, and spending 2 mana just to cycle seems pretty underpowered. I think I like bringing in another land. Yeah, let's bring in one more forest. and run it like this. I think this should be a solid matchup, honestly. Our threats should line up pretty well with their threats. We just need to make sure we don't fall too far behind. In that game, we didn't draw any spot removal, and they were on the play, but this game, we have a lot of ways to combat what they're doing. Okay, there's the bauble. Not doing much here. Let's see what they're going to draw. Intrepid Adversary, that's somewhat relevant information. Oh, that sucks. Opponent accidentally skipped through their turn. I mean, yeah, not much to do there. But I'm not going to skip my turn. I mean, I don't know. You can skip your turn in that position. I don't think that's... I mean, I'm just going to play my game. So we play this, pass, set up to play Minsc and Boo next turn. This may be a quick game 2. Game 3 on the draw will, of course, be much harder. I'm just going to jam. They could have Mana Tithe, but I'm just going to go for it. Push the advantage. We could... Is there any argument to playing Ulvenwald Oddity instead? I don't think so. Yeah, I'm just going to play the Minsc and Boo. Hit for 7, see if we can close out the game. This comparison is pretty brutal, though, for Ulvenwald Oddity. I mean, the fact that this is still a good card. This is a 4/4 with Trample and Haste that also... just like is this insane planeswalker, and it's like really good against creature removal and stuff. I mean, this does have some extra text. Being able to transform is relevant in some situations, but oh wait, whoops! I just clicked on the wrong thing. Whoops! All right, meant to play Minsc and Boo. I think either way we win. I do think Minsc and Boo is the correct play. This has the advantage of like, I mean, we can play this next turn and grow the oddity if we wanted to, but either way we'll be just fine. On the play, and our opponent skipped their first turn. So we had 3 mana when they had 0. On the draw, I do think I want to bring in the Grazer. Not sure what I want to cut. Faithless Looting is also a card we could try to play, but it doesn't seem that relevant. This is definitely a matchup where we do want the Lumberjack. Sometimes they'll just kill it, but against Counter Magic or like in a really slow, grindy matchup, this is a little awkward. But in games that are all about speed, like if we can just get that Titania into play on turn 2, that's a huge deal. Opponent pausing here. I can't imagine they have a play. Alright, after a little bit of a delay, opponent concedes the game. Fair enough. We will go to game 3 on the draw. Hierarch or Grazer in. What is bad? We haven't seen artifacts and enchantments, really. I might just cut the Pillage the Bog, though. It's just a little clunky. Like, yeah, finding specifically Fiery Confluence is good, but outside of the Confluence, we don't really have any particular card we're digging towards. And we do have, like, we just want to be spending our mana impacting the board. Then the question becomes, do we just cut black? Just go straight red-green because Croaks is out, Pillage the Bog is out. I do really like having these spot removal spells, though, and the Black Splash doesn't really hurt that much. If we cut the like, yeah, there's just not that much of a reason to cut black because it's so free. I think our mana fixing is fine, and I do really like having access to some spot removal spells. It's almost tempting to try to play Tribal Flames, just 2 mana, 3 damage. In fact, I think that is correct. Perhaps over Outland Liberator. Rexage is better at killing artifacts and enchantments, and just a 2/2 is not that good here, especially on the draw. Like, I would basically, if they play a creature on turn 2, I would much rather kill it than play my own creature, which is going to die to their 1 mana burn spell. Is there anything that's worse than Outland Liberator? Don't love the life loss of this, but it's still worth it. Could cut a land, but I think I like this. I like having all these lands. Yeah, I'm going to cut the Liberator. Go a little bit lighter on top end. Nice. Or I guess that's not even really top end, but just like meaty creatures. Just keep the curve down, keep the interaction high. Okay, good hand. Kind of like defensive. There's no top end, but this is exactly what we want. We're not going to fall behind with this hand, which is really the name of the game. Ooh, okay. I think we do need to kill that immediately. So I'm just going to Flame Slash. I'll hold the bauble. No reason to, we just don't need to play it yet. Next turn, I might just go Bayou into Grazer, put the Saga into play. Seems pretty good. Yeah, let's do that. And I think I'm actually going to play the bauble just to play it around potential Thalia. Doesn't matter too much, but... Alright, the next turn we can start making Saga tokens. If they attack with the Figure of Destiny, I'm honestly just going to block with the Grazer. If they then want to sink their whole mana into leveling up the Figure, I'm pretty happy with that exchange. And if we just prevent 2 damage, I'm obviously happy to have the higher life total. What's their 3-drop? Death Greeter's Champion. Okay, that's interesting. Do we want to lose the Grazer to gain 6 life? I think I do, honestly. Yeah, I think this is a fine block. Untap. I'm not going to crack this because I want my constructs to be bigger. Ooh. That's really tempting to just wipe their board, but then we don't get to make a construct. I think it's honestly fine. Well... Yeah, I'm gonna wait and try to get even more value out of the Fiery Confluence, although it is close. Granted, we aren't gonna have great blocks this turn, but next turn our constructs will grow to be 4/4s, unless we top deck our Mishra's Research Desk, which would be terrible. I really hope we don't top deck that. Okay. Interessante. We have a few, so we could just give up on the Saga tokens here to try to sweep their board, which doesn't seem the worst, but then we just don't have that much gas left over. We could also take 10 damage here with the hopes of just growing everything next turn. I think 10 damage is actually acceptable. I don't love it, but I think it is correct here. I think keeping constructs around that are bigger than they like survive Fiery Confluence is really good. All right, grab this. Just play land and pass. The board is pretty stable now, and then our plan is next turn 3 damage to each creature, which would kill the Figure of Destiny. They could level this up more. If they turned it into a 6/6, okay, they'd make another play, Chandra. Alright, we'll see what they do with this. Minus to kill a construct is probably most likely. Okay, so let's crack this on ourselves, and we can basically scry one here. Definitely don't want that. I think we're just going to go for Chump Chump now. The Chandra is a problem. Unless we can find something with haste. Do we want to crack... Actually, no, I don't think we even want to crack this because we're planning... We, like, know what we're doing next turn either way. Okay, I guess we play Hierarch. Don't love taking the damage here, but I think it's okay. So crack this, grab Basic Forest... 4 mana, Fiery Confluence, 3 damage to each creature. Then we'll get this into play, which unfortunately is 1 damage short of being able to kill the Chandra right now. They have 1 card in hand, and they have played land every turn. I think we can almost definitely beat the Chandra, and we can just get to dig pretty deep with this Mystery's Research desk, and we have a lot of things with haste. Them plussing for mana is definitely game, though. I mean... Oh, geez. Yeah, that's really, really powerful. I don't think there's much we can... I mean, it's possible we could get there if they just flood and we top deck well. But that's pretty rough. Now they just have so many different threats. We would need something like a Fractured Identity here. I mean, that's a good draw, I guess. Let's crack this. So we'll grab Minsk and Boo. I think we do need to take the Minsk and Boo here. It's just not powerful enough if we don't take it. Cast this. Make a dude. And go after the Chandra. They probably let the Chandra die. Then we're going to take a huge backswing. We'll see if they want to go for our Minsk and Boo or not. If they, like, gang block this, that would be amazing. They could quad block it to keep their Chandra alive, but there's no way they go for that. I don't think it was correct to leave this back, though. We need to get the Chandra off the table. And now we'll see. I mean, if they don't have anything else, they just hit for 7. We can chump block with a Hierarch and survive at 5. And then we have Chandra plus Minsk and Boo, which will take over the game really quickly. But the problem is they have 2 cards in their hand. They also get to look at another card with Inti, and if they get to add more stuff to the board, it's going to be really tough. This is a big moment of truth. Do they go at Minsk and Boo or our face? They go at our face, which is worse, honestly, because, I mean, it's pretty likely they have a burn spell. We'll see what they hit off the Inti. They put a counter on the Scrapwork Mutt. And they hit Generous Plunder, okay. I think it is correct to just prevent 2 damage here. Go to 3 instead of 1. And then hopefully they just pass. Okay. So I'm going to say no. I think we need to draw a card. Yeah, we're not going to be able to win without some help. So I'm going to just Minsk and Boo minus to kill their Inti and draw some cards. We can, like, get funnily close to just killing them and racing, but we can't quite get there. Okay, that's kind of the sort of things we were looking for. Let's play Reclamation Sage to kill this. I mean, yeah, we need multiple blockers. I think we are actually dead here, unfortunately. It's very close. We'll see if they do anything weird. We play Rex Sage, kill the Scrapwork Mutt, play Sakura Tribe Elder, Overgrown Tomb tapped, and pass. And then the problem is this is going to hit us for 3. I think we're going to go to exactly 0 if they say yes to this, which they definitely should do, and they do. So close. We literally go to exactly 0 life. I guess we don't have enough mana to unearth. We don't have the green cards to hit that with the Endurance. Lilia. All right. GG's. Really, really close. I think we needed 1 more turn to stabilize. If we could have untapped 1 more turn with Chandra and Endurance, we would have gotten there. Very, very close game. But opponent does get us there. Although if I'm going to lose, it's pretty nice that it's against a friendly opponent that is a fan of the channel. But that is sometimes how it goes. See you in round 3. All right, we're on the play for round 3 with a really good hand, so I will keep it. Playing against Chris, top deck. Hopefully he doesn't draw too well. I think we're definitely going to lead on our dorks here. I think we're pretty likely to just be hitting for 2 on turn 2, so I'll play Halfling. The next turn we can go Hierarch. The question is just, do we want to play Saga, or do we want to play Gruul Turf and hold the Saga? But I think we probably do want to play Saga if we don't draw gas. Yeah, given that draw, I will definitely just play Hierarch, play Saga, hit for 2. And then now we have the interesting decision of whether we want to bounce the Saga. And honestly, I think I'm going to do it. Just getting an extra Saga token out of the deal seems pretty relevant. Okay, I'm really not afraid of this Thalia. I think it kind of actively helps us. So let's start by swinging for 2. Then we're going to make a Saga token, play Gruul Turf, pick up our Saga. And then we'll just continue growing this later. We could, I guess, also just try to Titania it back, but we can still do that just a little bit later. The problem is now we don't have we don't have anything to do with our mana next turn. I mean, we can play the Lumberjack. That doesn't really count. Unless we top deck something, of course. But opponent's down to 14. They're already getting kind of low. Looks like 4th Airlingus for 1. Oh, Flage, sure. They go for the Halfling. Pretty far away from escaping that, though. And they do want to trade 2 for 2 damage. I don't think that's a good attack at all. Rexage is a great draw. So let's go Saga. Lumberjack. Rexage. And now they're just super stunted on development. They only have 2 permanents in play. We hit them down to 12. Then the Ancient Tomb, every time they tap it, is going to hurt them even more. We can start making Saga tokens. We can bring back the Saga soon with Titania. We also have Lumberjack plus Titania, which is pretty nice. Only 1 forest, but that's fine. Alright, sweet. So we take down Boros aggro in game 1. Pretty quick game 1. Another aggressive deck. I think I'm basically going to sideboard similarly. This one, Relic, does seem better, though, because they have Flage. So these 3 cards all are tempting. Maybe Tribal Flames, maybe Looting. We have seen some more artifacts and enchantments out of them. I think Lumberjack is good. I think just having Ulvenwald Oddity as a 4/4 is good. I'll cut the Escape. Don't think I'm going to bring in another land. I think, though, Arboreal Grazer is still good. It's kind of close. 2 more cuts. I like the Rexage. Could cut one of these artifacts. Maybe just Grazer. But no, it's on. Yeah, I'll cut the Pillage. I'll do this cut exchange again. Then one last cut. And I'll cut the Bauble. We don't have Kroxa, which makes it a little bit worse. It's bad against Thalia. We have another artifact for Urza's Saga. It's not bad, especially just for scrying early, but it's not like a good top deck. I think this is fine. Alright, good hand. We have a lot of cheap accelerants. We don't have any removal, but we can just like try to be ahead on resources. Ooh, turn 1 Dark Ritual. What are you Dark Ritualing out? Talisman and Cycle Oliphant is not a very impressive Dark Ritual turn. I mean, they have 3 mana for next turn, but they also had 3 mana this turn, and they didn't do much with it. So this can get Bayou. I want to confirm that I have Bayou, but I'm pretty sure we do. Yeah, let's just grab Bayou, and then we can get Mountain. Next turn we can either Rex Sage their Talisman, we could Talisman into Stomp something, we could Talisman into Sakura Tribe Elder. A lot of possibilities. I will kill the Talisman if they don't make a relevant play this turn, but I feel like they must. Dark Confidant. Okay, let's kill that. We definitely want to get that off the table. So I will play into Mana Tithe because I really want to develop the Talisman. If this works, okay, really good turn 2 where we're able to take the mana advantage while also removing the threat and establishing card advantage. So really, really strong turn. If they just Flage our Hierarch or something, that's fine. That would take us off of Minsc and Boo. Okay, they don't make a play. Interesting. And we draw Sheoldred's Edict. Do we just jam Minsc and Boo here? So we could get greedy and crack the research desk looking for land. And then play Rex Sage, which would be pretty good. Honestly, weirdly, I think that's the right line. This might be too conservative. Like, there's definitely an argument for just jamming Minsc and Boo and trying to attack, but that's worse against Mana Tithe, worse against Reprieve. Not even that good against them having, like, Sheoldred's Edict. This is much higher upside. Yeah, I think I like this plan. We just get to double spell, be more resilient to them having interaction of some kind. And then we'll be able to play Minsc and Boo on a more safe board. Also, this is a spot where it's good to hit land drops, where we have a lot of uses for our mana. Opponent might just be flooded over there, though. Arena of Glory, okay. So we're just going to go for Minsc and Boo this turn. And then plus here and hit for 6. Going to hold up the Sheoldred's Edict for now. I might even just hold it up through their turn. We could also play Sakura Tribe Elder, but one of the main ways we could lose this game is end of turn Orcish Bowmasters, untap Wheel of Fortune. Okay, that's not a way for them to beat this. And now they no longer have, they're not representing Orc anymore. I mean, I guess they could go untap Orc into Wheel, but I think that's really unlikely. I'm just going to get the Sakura Tribe Elder into play, which is relevant. We are a bit constrained on mana still with having this in the graveyard. Vindicate the Minsc and Boo, okay. I am going to crack this end of turn. Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we want to have 7 mana so we can Bone Crusher. Oh, wait, no. I guess we don't really need 7 mana. Oh, but it doesn't even speed up our clock because of Exalted, so I'll just crack this. Grab a Forest. Untap. Interesting. Okay, let's go for some a double haste here. I love that you can split it up like this. So we're gonna play Waddle. Just grab another Forest. Play the Forest. Play Bone Crusher Giant, which also has haste. And then we get to hit for 8 and hold up Sheoldred's Edict. And now they pretty much need a board sweeper, which is possible. They're looking a little bit more controlling than I thought. I assumed they were an aggressive deck from their Boros start with Thalia. Thalia looks pretty questionable in their deck, frankly. The old Thalia Dark Ritual combo. Alright, so we pretty much steamroll our opponent in round 3. That does not make up for losing round 2 to defend, but hey, if we beat 2 random people 2-0 and then lose a tight match to defend, that's kind of the best way for a 2-1 league to go. This deck was really, really good. Just like classic Jund, a lot of cheap disruption, some cheap accelerants to get the mana advantage, very powerful 3 to 5 mana plays that can close out the game really quickly. A lot of different cards shined at various points. We played Croxa only once. We were going to be able to escape it, but then we sided it out in matches 2 and 3 because we kept on playing against aggressive decks. But yeah, just a really sweet league. I guess why did we lose round 2? Partially because our opponent's deck was really good and they played well. We were maybe a little bit light on spot removal, but I don't know. We had 3 1-mana spot removal spells and two 2-mana spot removal spells plus a sweeper. I guess having more sweepers would have been good. If we could have sided in Toxic Deluge, that would have helped a lot. Or I think we saw Delayed Blast Fireball going around at one point, and that would have been a really, really good sideboard card. But still, really, really sweet league with a powerful deck. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.